Oh yeah, this. I'm giving a live weekend in Amsterdam, so we are trying to be normal again, and it will be in Amsterdam 17, 18, 19 December. So you're very welcome. It's also on my website, all the details. So we'll see if it's gonna be really a live weekend with people again. Okay, so I think. Oh yeah, and I have some news. There will be an English version of my book. Yeah, it's amazing that it's gonna work. So I don't know. Maybe in the spring it will be there. So I'm busy too with that publisher. So that would be nice. Okay, I'm starting. God, it's a moment. It's so normal. It's so normal that sometimes it's just, how can I say this? It's even, there are no words to really say what's going on. You can also only talk around it. You can talk about it and just make some concepts maybe that you think, oh, what's going on here? There can be a resonance about some concepts. But what's going on, what is happening is just already there. It's just what's happening. And that sounds crazy because when you walk out in the street and you say, but it's already what's happening, people look at you like a duh. So it's not a message to learn or a message to understand or a message to do something with it. Because it's already that. It's already this. So there's no need to understand what's said here. There's no truth in it. It's just words coming out, and maybe there's a resonance. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. There's no agenda to talk about this. There's no agenda to trying to convince anybody or trying to make it more clear. It's just words coming out in a way, and maybe when there's a question, there's just answering without any agenda or thinking about what's going on. It's just this. It's the most easiest thing, but we are so used that there's something to look at. There's a life, there's something inside, and there's some questions about how to live my life. What's the best way? That's the most important question of the day, of every day, that we are so convinced that there's some good way and there's a bad way to live, or this is not healthy and this is more healthy, or this is better or this is worse. There's so many ideas and concepts and beliefs about what's the best. And it can't be seen that what's happening is it. Because when there's separation, and separation is also only with people, because people can abstract, can think and see that there's something going on and look at it and try to understand, try to work it out, try to do something with it, or not to do something with it, or to feel it, or there's so many ways to do something with what's going on. And there's no need. There's no need for anything. It doesn't mean that it's always happiness or joy. Of course not. It's everything. Of course it's everything. It's just life happening, and it's an apparent happening. And that's also amazing, because most people are really convinced everything is very solid and real and important. And it is very important to do the right thing and everything going on like that. But nothing is real. There's no time. When there's no time, there's no before and after. That's crazy. When there's no before and after, then there are no consequences. That's huge, because we are so into responsibility, into guilt. What did I do? What have I done? Something like that. It's just innocence. It's always innocence. And that's not something special. It's just like that. It has always been like that. So that can be huge. It's all, but in the same time, it's very simple, and it's already known, you could say, not known, but somewhere it's very obvious. When here the me fell away, or it's not even that, it's more simple. It's just nothing did come up anymore. It's like, oh, how could I not see this? It's already there. It's so normal. It's so obvious. But there are so many concepts. It's so easy and so normal to abstract what's going on, to give it names, to do something with it. It's so close that it's such a normal thing to look at it, to think about it, to try to understand, to know. And when there are words like this, you think, oh, I already know. But it can be so subtle. That whole me system, that whole me, can be so clever. And it seems like now it's going differently. No. There's a lot of things falling away, and it's much more easier. There's not so much me anymore, so it's going better now. And it's the same story. It's always the same story of I'm moving towards no me now. You can't move towards no me. And that's also no hope. So this is a message without hope. Most people don't want to hear that, because there's always a subtle feeling of hope that there's someday there will be change, something, because can be a despair or something that's going on you don't like, or it can't be this. And then when people say this is it, most people don't want to hear this, because they want something else. That's me. Me is always wanting something else, and that can be so subtle and so not even noticed. But it's a drive, always a drive to get it, or to be more clear, or to lose it, or to anything. Nothing is happening. There's already nothing happening, because everything is only apparent. So it's just energy flowing in a certain way. There's no one. There's already no one. So there's nothing inside. We are so convinced that there's a body, there's something inside, and there's a me inside. It's just that front, what you see, that's it. It's very literally. So nothing is so much going on. There's also no rose. There's no rose without a me or something like that. There's no rose. There's just that face looking. And then when you're in your room and you close the computer, of course there's no rose. There never has been a rose. So this is a message you can't really understand. So you don't need to try. But when there's trying to understand and doing that, then that's what's happening. Nothing can't be wrong. It's just life doing that, you could say that. Or thoughts are coming. It's not your thoughts. It's just thoughts. Thoughts is also a certain energy that can be there. It's not yours. It's not in your body. It's just happening in space. Like feelings, like everything. It's just energy. And nothing is more important than something else. So there can be thoughts, there can be a table, there can be feelings. It's just the same. It's different, of course, but it's in importance, nothing is important. So we can talk about this. You can say anything. So there can be questions about the story. It doesn't matter. This is not a meeting that we don't talk about the story anymore because we know it's a dream. No, it can be anything. When there's a lot of thinking and doing in the story and there are questions. So there can be questions about that. Doesn't matter. Everything is a good question. So we'll see what's happening and we can talk about this. Or not. Not talking can also happen.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, William.
What I've been thinking about is how when there's that sense of me, there really is such a strong sense that things really could be some other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that come purely from the need for something different?
It's not me doing that because there's already no me. So it's just but in the story you could say, yeah, there's talking in the story and there's talking like there's nothing going on. But in the story, it's of course it's that the feeling of there's something not right yet. That's me. That's me is on top of that system, you could say, and that's the boss. And then it's trying to make you to make it complete again because it's convinced it's not complete. There's something there. It's not complete yet. So, and that it's not in only in the mind. It's such a embodied feeling can be there like that. Can't hear that it's already complete because complete means kind of perfect or something like that. And it's not like perfect in a certain that it has to be in a certain way. No problems, no suffering, maybe no this or there's always a hearing of something that you think, oh, that's what I want, and that I don't have that, something like that. What is already happening, what's going on there, William, that's the completeness. It's life Williaming, something like that. That's it. It's always different as something else or somebody else. Of course. That's the uniqueness of every body mind system.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the me constantly lives in process of things becoming, or I'm becoming, and this appearance is becoming. So that's why it never feels like things are complete, because there's always, this is just a part that's leading somewhere, hopefully, and better.
Yeah. That's always the same story. Like there's something wrong, it has to be solved. That problem has to be solved. And me likes that. It likes complications. So there can be a lot of thinking about how to do that or not to do that, or I can listen more to that or anything. And when it's too simple, no, me doesn't like that. It can't hear it. It's just, or it's there or it's not. It's not a process, of course. It isn't a process. It's something, this is about loss. And sometimes something is not there anymore. It's even not noticed. It's some concepts or something like that.
And when
also, that can be seen like a process, of course. But that's how me thinks. How in the story it's like that. Seems to be like that. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say, when there's no longer a sense of a person, then there's only just what's happening. So there's no idea, like the me kind of lives in this world, like things could be this way, there could be that way, there could be the other way. So when there's no longer that sense of the me, there's just what's happening, and there's no like living in this whole dream world of what it could be like or how it should be. Or
no, that doesn't come up. That can, some thoughts about that can come up, but they fall away very quickly. Yeah, can be there some thoughts like, when you want to go out and suddenly it's raining. You think, oh, I want sun, something like that. Of course, it's just normal. Yeah. But
Okay.
then that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I thought, chat, wait. You talk about appearances, but not awareness. How can there be appearances without awareness to perceive it? There's no need for awareness. There's no need to perceive anything. There's no need for awareness. Perceiving just happens. It's not, there's no need for awareness to perceive or to see something. That's what me thinks, that there is need for awareness and to look at it. There's no awareness. So still there's seeing anything, seeing what's going on, seeing tables, seeing it's apparent. But I don't know how it is seen. It's just seen. There's no need for awareness there. No. That's strange, because we're so convinced that without awareness, there's no seeing. Oh, wait. How can there be perception without awareness? It's just there. It's just can be there without awareness. How can there be it? It's just, I can only describe, it's like that. It's just, there's no awareness and still there's seeing or hearing, or not for anyone, it's just hearing. There's no need for awareness for that. No. That's strange, because that can be very convincing.
It's just seeing and hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is already no me.
Yeah, it's not me doing that or aware in a way that you. I don't so much know about awareness, but it seems like then when you, it's just seeing that it's nobody doing it, and we are so convinced that we are seeing it, that there's someone who's seeing it, and when that is not there, when there's no, I can't say what. But it's not me seeing it, there's just seeing.
Yeah.
By no one.
Yeah, for me.
So when that drops, that seems to drop, which it isn't happening because it wasn't already there, but it seems like it's dropping. It's not dropping, it's just not coming up anymore, that there's something going on like that. It's very difficult to describe what's going on, how it is without awareness, but it's very simple. It's just seeing or hearing.
Yeah, for me,
it's already like that. Yeah, sorry. Say it. Yeah.
It's very clear that there is, I don't like that word awareness.
Yeah. I never liked that, because that's always, there was a lot of things about awareness that were explained to me, and I couldn't understand that very much. So then I thought I'm not so clever, so maybe something like that. I couldn't hear that. So, and now I'm seeing like, oh, it's just not there, but that's no big thing. It's just not there. It's not even noticed. There's nothing going on about awareness or not awareness. It's just living or not living. Yeah. Awareness is part of the me. The whole dream story.
Yeah. Can you say something about Tony is sometimes saying the table is tabling, the chair is chairing, the floor is flooring. Can you say something about that?
How can I say something about it? It's just the table. It's not. It seems to be there, and it's just an appearance, and that's how can you? I can't. I can't describe what's going on there. It's just an appearance, and with, you could say, with light and everything, they're seeing table. So life is tabling, and it's a way of talking. It's just tabling, and that's it. And there, and that's it's aliveness. It's very difficult to give words to it. It's just a table there. And it's alive, of course, it's alive. But it's the same, a table is the same as a feeling. It's just energy, it's just sadness, life sadnessing, or table. It's like life tabling. It's just energy in that form. It's not form, because it's not real.
Yeah, it's form and formless at the same time.
But the form is not really form. So it's an apparent form and no form. It's there, and it's apparently there, and it's not. It's also not there in the same time. That's crazy. You can't, because when we are so used to see everything as real or solid, or even also tables, but also feelings or thoughts. It's there and it's not there in the same time. That's crazy. And in the same time, oh yeah, it's very obvious. It's just, but it's not a big deal. It's just like that. You don't need to say like, oh, I don't see that yet, so I wait till that moment. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's another question. Do you have anything special to say about deep sleep? No, there can be deep sleep. And it's when you go to bed, you could say, we're thinking, oh, we're lying in bed all night and they're sleeping and deep sleeping. But in the same time, there's nothing going on. There's no body, there's nothing going on. So it's just nothing. Nothing is happening there. It can be after deep sleep. I don't know about dreams, how that happens. But... And then in the day, it seems to be happening a lot of things like walls and houses and feelings. And that seems to be very real, but it's an appearance. It's apparently there and it's not, but don't bother about that. If you don't see it like that and you think, oh, it's not, how can I see it? Or it doesn't matter. If it's sad and there can be a resonance or no resonance, doesn't matter. Then there's something different happening over there. So, and there's seeing everything solid. Then that's what's happening. Yeah.
Hi, Rose. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So listening in this meeting, on the one hand, the resonance is strong. On the other hand, it's clear the me doesn't want to hear this at all. It wants to get away from it. I'm just like, I'll do anything to distract myself, like going to any story or what,
Sure.
to try and not hear this. But what I was going to ask is, the pain of existing or apparently existing in separation could be very, very painful. There could be a lot of suffering from that. So would you say that there is something that's longing to kind of, in a way, return to this non-separation, but it's not the me that's longing?
No, I think it's more me is longing for something that it can't, it remember. There's a remembering some way. There's a remembering some way, and there's a longing for something. It's somewhere it knows, you could say something like that. But it's just overlaid by so many other concepts, and everything is real, and it's not right yet, and things like that. So that can be so strong. And in the same time, there's also fear, of course, because it's when everything is solid and it's important and you live your life, you've done a lot of things about doing it and trying to relax, and you don't want to lose your life. You don't want to die. So there's a fear of dying, and it can be very strong. And sometimes you can't understand where it comes from, but it can be so embodied that there's a fear. So it's both, I think. Some things, one thing is stronger. Yeah.
When
like
you said you don't want to lose your life, because I'm obviously projecting that there's a person there called Rose who has a life. So in my story, Rose lives in Amsterdam. She gives meetings about non duality. You know, she goes out for rides on a bicycle, you know, whatever else. And so I really think that when you say you don't want to lose your life, so there's no concepts anymore of like, or not that sense of this is my life, this is what I do, this is who I am.
Yeah, it can be, but there can be thoughts about the past and memories about the past, and talking with friends who are in the story about your mother and things and anything. But that's then, and then after that it's gone and it's not important. Yeah, but
So
there's nothing going on about it. It's not like knowing that there's no past or something. No, it's just nothing going on about that. There's no,
So it's a whole loss of the identity of the idea that you're someone who has a life and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's lost, but it's only that. So it's like, it's nothing. But it feels like when there's someone, and it feels like the most important thing of anything, me with the whole life and the story and everything what's going on. That seems so important. So you don't want to lose that. But when it's gone, it's just nothing. It's just like, oh, yeah, it's just going on, walking on the street or anything. It's just going on, but for no one. And it's like, yeah. Somebody said it's like, I did have that once for a few days, that everything is transparent. Well, maybe, but that's just one way of putting it. But it's just like that, and then no big deal. There's nothing busy with that. There's just sitting in the garden, just staring or reading a story. Why not? Can be anything. And in the same time, and that's what we're also convinced, that when there's Rose or somebody else, she's living a life and it's not like that. No, there's no Rose. There's only this face, and there's talking. That's it. And when there's closing the computer, there's only maybe a room. That's it. There's no Rose. There's no life of Rose. So it's not, Rose is not important. No, of course not.
And even though,
but
like,
we project. Yeah, sure. Say
I was to say, even though what you said about like the me's afraid because it doesn't want to lose its life, at the same time, what you're saying really does sound like freedom, because it's not like someone there holding on to, this is my life, this is what needs to happen, this is how it needs to go for things to work out the right way, you know. And it like, as you're talking, there's
that's it. That's the freedom. So when you hear that, you think, oh, I want that. But at the same time, there's also like, yeah, but I don't want to lose this, what I have, and my what's going on here. And it can be so strong that and even if in the mind you think, yeah, but I want to lose that is just a little part that wants to lose, but it's something else that can be much stronger that wants to hold on it. Yeah, sure. It's not wrong. It's just how it can be very strong like that. And that's life too. It's just like that. That's not like William is holding on and that needs to stop or things like that. No, that's the story. It's just when there's just a feeling like that, that's the only thing there is. There's just, and then there can be a story about what's going on. Oh, that's William, it's going to da 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 da. No, that's the story. Is not there anymore. But that can be there. That's the only thing. We're making so many things of it. That's what falls away, you could say. And the rest, the feelings and it's very close, but it's too close to tell, too close to say. It's just that energy, just that feeling, or just that going. And then we are, and that's that awareness, like looking at it and thinking, what's going on here? Oh, that's still that me that's going, wow, that's the story. But that can be so convincing and normal. It's not even noticed. It's, yeah, then that's it. But that's what's happening. That's the completeness too, of course.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Rose.
Hi, thank you.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
It's because what you just said about that's the completeness too. As you're talking and there's so much expression, I'm thinking the sense of me being aware and looking at what needs to happen, all that seems to use up a lot of energy. When I listen to someone like you or Tony or one of the other speakers, there's just such a boundless energy, and the body or the character seems so free there. At least that's how it seems to me. And but then I start thinking, well, because I'm a me and I'm seeking and I'm looking at what needs to happen, that's using up all the energy. So this body and this character is so like limited and almost dead in its ability to, you know, compared to how alive I see you and Tony and people. So, and then I think, well, you know, if only the me would drop, then there'd be so much energy and so much freedom. But actually, because when you're saying this is the completeness too, the awareness and looking at everything, it's impossible for the me to see that completeness.
Yeah. Because that's such a strong thing about there's something not right. There's always a comparing to something you think you see here or something, and then you compare it with what's going on there. But and then that's always like, oh, that's less. We do it all the time. Everybody does it all the time. Like, oh, I want to have that. What you have, make a story of it, like that's better, or I want that. That sounds more free, or anything. The freedom is there, that there's nothing trying to change anything. That's it. It doesn't mean there's no stress or there's no. There can be also patterns. Anything. There can be like pain or, yeah. It's the same in that sense, but there's nothing trying to change it. It's not that I don't think that it's not, I don't need to do that anymore. It's just not coming. So there's no escape. There's just that. And there's nothing going on about trying to do something with that. So there's no escape. It's just there. But it can be the same, like patterns or how do you say, tension in the body can be there. There's nothing trying to do something with that, but it's not coming. It's not coming up. How do you say that? So there's just stress. It's not that, oh, there's stress. Oh, that's okay. No, I don't want that. But it's just there. And it can be like, oh, but then, yeah. There's also, I don't know. I can't say about something like that's also, it's not there anymore. Trying to work it out and think, how can I do something to get it less? Or say, it's just not working. It doesn't happen. So there's no escape. So in that sense, it's the same. only dream about that we are capable to change and to do something and to compare, and that's not there. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, another one. Chat. Can cessation of giving attention to thinking lead to this realization? No, of course not. There's there's nothing doing something. There can be a lot of methods about what to do to not think so much anymore, or do something with that anymore, or things like that. Because we are so convinced that we are capable to do something, and that because of that there's change. That can be a change. There's no free will, or there's no choice. There's no one. There's already no one. So there can be no one doing a cessation of giving attention. There's already no one. And on top of it, then there are a lot of thoughts. That's it. They can be there. They can be here. Can be in the night. I did say that last. They can be in the night. There was watching television in a series or something, and then in the night it's suddenly waking up, and a lot of thoughts going on about that series can be there, and then suddenly like, what's going on here? But it's there, and then suddenly it stops, and then so anything can happen, but there's no need to change anything. It's just not happening. That's the thing that's falling away. That there's a need to change, that there's something, because there's something wrong. No, nothing is wrong. It's everything. It's everything. So we are so used to this is it and this is not it. I want that and no, don't want this. This message is about this is everything, is it? Everything. Yeah. That's the freedom also, that nothing needs to change. It's not with Rose, but it's also somewhere else. So there's nothing going on about changing someone or trying to learn someone or trying to teach or trying to anything, because no, there's already no one, but there's nothing wrong. How can there be something wrong? There's no need to change anything. It's just that. There can be irritation, but that doesn't mean that there's a need to change. It's just irritation. That's it.
Rose, can I ask you something about that? Because I do, in a certain way, I understand what you say. On the other hand, there is still a me talking then to no one. And when you speak about, in this case, everything is already all right, everything is complete. Indeed, also you, it seems to me, it feels like indeed everything can be there. But with me, I indeed still have my preferences. So there's still this sense of indeed that I can do something to indeed free up, to indeed also experience this freedom instead of having the stories and living in my stories. So is there, is there still something I can do?
You want to hear something, what you can practice.
Well, I can understand in a way that it's not about practice, but also this, if there is resonance, so from you, for example, in this case, so apparently there is energy working on my side as well. So this might also, in this case, be helpful indeed in freeing up. I don't know.
But that what the most thing, how can you say, what there is there's something not right yet. That's so strong and so normal. We are so, it's so embodied. It's so, we are from young age till now. It's there's something wrong. We are like, oh, this behavior is good, this is bad, no, anything like that. So it's so embodied. There's something wrong. It can't be heard that the way that they are is. It's just that. It's just like that. That doesn't mean it's feeling then it's like happy all the time or so. It's just what's happening, because there's on top of it, what's happening is always something like, oh, what did I do now? Oh, that should be different. It's not the same as Rose or somebody else. How can I reach that? There's always something like, maybe a sort of perfectionism. I don't know how to say it in English. And it's like, oh, there's something about that, and it's not yet there. And we have, everybody maybe has something different in that, but there's something like, oh, I have to reach that state, or that how I can do that, and then it will be free, because it feels like, oh, I don't feel that freedom, so there has to happen something so I can feel that freedom, or like that, because we are so convinced that it feels in a certain way. We have to feel in a certain way, or the freedom or the joy or anything, a state like it's there. This is not a state. That's why you can't say how it is. It's all the time different. And that's the same with you. It's always different. The only thing which isn't there is that there's trying something, that there's trying to change it.
Exactly.
That's it.
But this is the big difference, right? I mean, indeed, I also feel like, so with you, for example, there is nothing wrong. But if you would speak to me, if there's a conversation with someone else in the story, of course, there is like judging, there is like comparing, there is like all these things which are on top of it. So this is indeed, I want to get rid of, yes.
Yeah. But that's not you. That's because what you think, it's you doing that, and you would think, I want to get rid of it. And what's happening here, what's more how it is there's no one. It's just an empty, it's just space. It's just a parent body that's even not real. And there's energy, there's thoughts coming up, or judgments, or saying something. That's not wrong. That's what's happening. Here there can be, it's not like Rose is always saying, oh, I don't judge. There can be judging, of course. Why not? It's not a holy story. No, there can be anything. Irritation, angry. It's just normal. So it's not, we have such an image about a certain perfection, and everybody has different ways, and we have friends, and then they have the same thing. And then there is no that kind of perfection. It's just like what's happening. And it can be painful or anything, but it's not you doing it or somebody else doing it. It's happening. There's no one doing it. That we are so convinced, I am here, you are there, this is my life, and there's something there, and trying to compare. You don't know what's going on here. There's maybe an image of it, but you don't know. You don't know anything. So it's just trying to, there's a lot of thought. Then there are a lot of thought. That's just life in that way. That's the perfect, that's the completeness. Every body mind is just unique in some different way. I'm not going out of the street and everybody is perfect like that. No, of course not. Why should I? But but some people can be irritating. Of course, it's still there. Of course. And sometimes it's said, sometimes it's not said. I don't know. It's like that.
Yeah, but the difference still remains. Also, what you expressed earlier, that you, let's say, then it is what there is. Well, I might still, let's say, remember it and go into my story. So you're living less in your story than.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's.
But there's always, and that can be so strong. You want to have a difference. That you say, you have something. I'm on a top of the chairs. I have reached something. I'm so special. No, I'm not. But it's so difficult to tell because so many people have some images about how this is. It's so normal. It's amazing. It's so obvious. It's just, there's so many stories. We're so in the story that I can hear that's the suffering, that the story can be so strong, and that whole going on and thinking about things, and that can be the suffering, of course. But it's also, that's life in a certain way. But I hear you that there's a longing for that freedom, but there's always an image about what freedom is, and it's not like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. There's another chat. Why is it called unconditional love if it's not a feeling of something or somebody? It's unconditional, so there's no what's going on. There's nothing trying to change anything. There's nothing trying to change anything. That can be huge, because there's always thinking, like you can hear also, there's something wrong here. There's something not right yet. What I'm doing, and and a lot of people have, like, other people are saying you're not right. So there's something, it can be very strong and painful. And then suddenly there's nothing trying to change it. That can be huge. And that unconditional, that's what we long for, that there's unconditional love. No need to do anything in a certain way, that we have to behave in a certain way but that the way it is, that's it. But that doesn't mean that you when you're with people that you say, oh, it is what it is. No, that's not saying that, of course, because when there's somebody doing something and there's coming irritation, then there's irritation that can be there. It's love. It's not love in the way that you say, oh, everything is good, you're all right, something. No, it's just, you can't, we call love like in the personal love, like trying to, when we are in relationships and we're talking about personal love and loving someone, a lot of times it's a need. It's need and trying to take care of each other and things like that. That has nothing to do with the love I'm talking about. That's more, everything is love. It's just life. It's just love. Everything is just love. It's a way of saying it. Or unconditional love, of course. It's just, everything is that. It doesn't mean it feels comfortable. That has nothing to do with unconditional love. But you can't, it's not a feeling. It's just, unconditional love.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Orna. Hi.
So maybe we can just call it conditional, and that's it. Because any word we use has so many connotations and ideas to separate me. When we say it's just unconditional, so everything is included. There's no condition. to be included in this, whatever this is.
Yeah, yeah. And most of the time, personal love is conditional. I don't like you behave like that. I need something else. Something. Oh, I did that, of course. Everybody. It is just, but it's always conditional, of course. You have to behave in a certain way.
Conditional. Yes, sorry. Maybe the non-conditional you could say about a mother and a child.
I don't know. I don't know, because there's always trying to comfort that the child has to feel good all the time. There are a lot of things like that also.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to feel that somebody feels good all the time. No. That's conditional. Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this? What is this feeling of separation? What is this feeling of me? What is this?
It's like I'm here, I'm real, and there's something else there that's also real, like a person or the walls, and that's separate. There's always it's outside. It's here, I am here, and outside me, something like that. There's the world, or there's other persons, or when that's yeah.
Some speakers, they say everything is an appearance, but the me is an illusion. It's not even an appearance, it's just an illusion. I can't get my head around it. Like, what is it?
But it's just like we can abstract everything. In fact, it's very simple. That's human. We can abstract what's going on. We look at it and thinking, oh, what's going on here? Oh, that has to do with that whole story. And that's how to me, that's that whole, when there's, how can you say, when there's separation, then there's looking at it. There's something, seems that there's something gone wrong, because there's a distance. There's always, people are feeling, I'm feeling outside the group, or outside, or there's something missing, something like that. And there's in that sense, there's always a search for that unconditional love, or that freedom, or that it's being together, or always like that, because there's something. Some people are more sensible, and some people just do it in the story. And then there's something like, there's a remembering somewhere of something else, but not very clear. I had that like as a child also. There was something, but I didn't know what it was, but it was something, God, a secret or something like that. But I couldn't know what, I didn't know anymore what it was. There's some missing, or a search for that. Because because everything is solid and real, the only searching is in the story. You think it's maybe another person that we have a good relationship, or maybe children, or maybe having a job, or anything. And that all the time it's, you have it, and then no, it's not that. So there's always trying to find it. But it's an endless search, because it's not missed. It's just, there is no separation, but that's, it's just words, can be just words.
Well, there is a separation, I'm telling you.
You know it.
There is separation. A pain in the neck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
So in the story, you could say that some people feel like me until the body dies, and some people there's a sense of being a me until there isn't, even when the body carries on living.
Yeah.
But and in my view, I mean, we don't know. In the world, out of how many people there are, it's more common that people carry on until they physically die feeling like they are someone.
Yeah, no, most of the time, yeah. In the story, yeah.
There's absolutely no reason why in some bodies the me falls away and then in another body it doesn't.
No, of course not. But when there's that, and it doesn't matter because it's when it's seen that Rose is the same as William. There's no difference. But when there's that story, it seems very convincing that there is a difference. Yeah. And it's just energetic. Somebody said it's like an apple falling from the tree. I like that. It's just, why is that happening to that apple and not that other one? It's the same thing. No big deal. But for that me that tries to reach it, then that's a big deal because it thinks, oh, there's something not there. Oh, I'm wanting it, freedom. Oh. And it can't see that, oh, it's already that. What's going on? It's already that. The only thing is that it's something else saying, no, it's not. But it can be so strong. It's just so convincing. Yeah. It's just energetic. It has nothing to do with understanding or what's happening in life. It has nothing to do with that, of course. It's just something energetic. And it's not a better life also. That seems to be like that also. Oh, Rose will have a much better life than I am. Oh, God. Yeah.
I just imagine things would be a lot easier if there wasn't that constant need for things to change, because it feels like it puts so much pressure and tension on everything. Yeah. And I mean, obviously I can't know what it is to not be a me, but I would just imagine if that sense dropped, everything would be a lot easier.
Yeah, but that's always because you're thinking like Rose has a life and she is now having it more easier, and that's not how it is. There can be anything happening. There can be pain or sick or illness or people dying or I don't know. It's just, and it's a story. It's just there's no Rose. It's an appearance. It's a whole image about how Rose is and how she feels. And you don't have that. It's just a story about Rose or Tony or whatever. You don't know.
That's true. I don't know. I just project all my hopes onto you and Tony.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sweet. Yeah, of course. I know. I thought the same thing. But it's so, you can't imagine. It's so different. Oh God. And it's in the same time, it's just the same. Most people, it's not noticed also when you walk. I thought when I'm walking out of the street, on the street or in the shops, and there will be no me, people will see it like, oh, what's going on there? It's not. It's not noticed at all. Yeah, sometimes there's somebody like, oh, that's funny. Well, can be that, but not really. No. Not special at all. No. It's very simple life, not special at all. That's only in the meetings. No, sometimes. Yeah. And what's the fun also? I thought when I did a lot of meetings when there was still somebody like intuitive feelings and things like that. And when I was that teacher, I felt I had to behave. So I had to sit straight or had to be much more quiet and listen to people and things like that. And that's not there anymore. That's just not there anymore. So when there's a meeting like this, there's nothing going on about behaving in a certain way. Ooh, that's the freedom also.
That's great. Thanks, Rose.
Mm. It's just free, but the freedom is already there. It's already freedom, and that's for me. It can't be heard like that, but because freedom in the story, it's something else. It's like a feeling of freedom, no tension, moving. You can move around. There in Holland, you have demonstrations because there's not so much freedom anymore because of the restriction of the COVID. It's amazing. People are demonstrating for much more freedom. That's because it feels like I want to do everything I want, or things like that. That's called freedom. This message has nothing to do with that freedom or a certain love that you take care of people. Has nothing to do with taking care or doing what you want or things like that. It's everything. It's unconditional. So there's nothing going on about this is better than that. There is no better, there is no good, and there is no bad. There is just what is happening. And that's it. That's already it. There's no one doing it. There's no one there. It's just life happening in a certain way. How can life be wrong? It's just life in any way of Rose or whatever people are there. It's just life, and it can be irritating, or I don't like it, or there can be preferences. But there can be preferences. But when I'm going to a shop and I say, "Oh, I want to have coffee," and people say, "Oh, the coffee machine is broken." No, there is no coffee. There can be a preference, but that's it. And maybe it happens, maybe not. You don't know. And it's not about when there's a me, I can say that everything is about me. You want to feel comfortable, you want to feel free, you want to have a certain state of what's going on, or comfortable feelings, or free feelings. This is talking about, it's everything. It can be anything. There's it can be a preference, but when there's pain, there's just pain, and nothing is going on about trying to change that. That's it. That's the freedom. There's no one trying to change it. That's the freedom. But it's unconditional, and it's no one doing that. It's everything. It's just everything already. Thank you. Thank you for joining. It was nice.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.